Big Boy's
Big
Neighborhood.
Boy.
All righty, we've been waiting on this one right here, man. All right, they've been doing petitions to bring LMA into the neighborhood.
excited.
LMA, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, okay. If we hold on, if we're gonna do this, you can drop the fake accent.
What would you mean?
You already made it. You know what I'm saying? Like, alrighty. I do want to have the interview without the accent. You know what I'm saying?
What does that mean?
You know, come on now. You know what I'm saying? Stop it. We hip to everything sounds better in a British accent. You know what I'm saying?
Do you want to see my passport?
You got in. You got in. You know what I'm saying? You already a hit. So now you don't have to do those same things anymore.
This is just how I talk.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because you know what I do? You know, I've done a couple movies before. I'm pretty sure you haven't seen any of my work. But I always try to speak in like a British accent because I just thought it sounded better.
Let me hear.
Let me hear. See what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
It's not bad. I've heard worse. I've heard worse.
I've heard worse. You see what I'm saying?
Why is your voice so high pitched?
I don't know. It just does. It happens. Like I don't know. I've never did it like I've heard worse. Oh, that's good too. I've heard worse. See, I always go octave up. You know what I'm saying? But okay, so you do get a lot of people that love to hear you speak, right?
Yeah.
Do I have an accent to you? And I know you've been asked this before, but do I have an accent to you?
I mean, you do, but I think I'm so used to the American accent now that it doesn't like.
Yeah,
in my head.
and with my world travels too, I'm so used to the European British accents as well. You know, because I travel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I've been all over the world. You know, well, not all over the world, but I've been to a few spots over the world.
Do you like England?
I love it. But my last few times over, I caught it at the wrong time of the year.
Oh,
like when it's
winter?
cold, it's cold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when it's cold. When was the last time you been to England?
I was just there in September.
Really? What was going on in September? I'm sorry, I'm going back to my movie days. No, what was going on in September?
I did a show. I did a radio show actually. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it feel crazy still to perform at home with all the hard work? You know what I'm saying? And then when you say, oh, okay, I get a chance to perform here. Does that still feel crazy to you?
Yeah. Yeah. The show I did in September was the first show I've done at home since the success of Boot Up. So it was pretty big, yeah. And then the next one is not until I do tour. I start touring in January for the album, the debut tour, which we sold out in like a minute in
That's
London.
crazy.
That's so sick.
Yeah. So I'm super excited.
So you about to, not that you about to do it all over again, but you about to be gone
yeah.
for a very long time.
Yeah.
2019, you'll pretty much be suitcase living.
Yeah.
So are you excited for your tour?
Yeah, so excited. I love touring. It's like my favorite part of all of it.
I love that.
How do you prepare yourself to be away for so long?
I don't think there's a real way you can really prepare yourself. Living out of a suitcase is annoying, but being able to perform every night and go to different places in the world and like meet different people makes it all worth it.
And I know a lot of the times people think you're out on tour, you're performing, like for them, you come to their city and they see you the one time, but you're doing it, sometimes the next day.
Yeah.
How hard is it to stay healthy, stay every night, give the same kind of energy?
And we want to hear you sound a certain way too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely depends on like exercise and diet, and also just like how much you're up. I think resting is very, very important, especially if you're doing a winter tour. Winter tours are brutal. Like summer tours aren't as bad, obviously, because it's nicer outside, so the chance of you getting sick is not as high as in a winter tour. Especially if you're in Europe.
Yeah.
You definitely have to take care of yourself and wrap up warm and make sure sometimes go on vocal rest and you're not being rude.
Do you learn that, LMA? Because it's got to be like tuition into the school of experience. You got to learn that.
Yeah, I mean, I opened up for Kaylani on tour last year on her
I
Sweet
love her.
Sexy
What up,
Savage
Kaylani?
tour. And but that wasn't in the winter actually. That was we started similar time to when I'm going out, and we started in February last year. So it was cold a little bit. At the start, but then it got warmer. But yeah, I think it's just something that you pick up along the way, and then you're on tour with people who've been on tour before, so they teach you things as well. So.
What'd you learn from Kaylani?
She's an amazing performer. I used to watch the show basically every night, like learn the dance moves, everything, because I'm a super fan.
That's dope.
But yeah, just to really like go out there and give your all, and when you need your rest, make sure you take it. And yeah, she's a great spirit to be around anyways.
And you ran out with Bruno Mars as well just recently,
yes.
huh?
Yeah, we just finished.
And you went on record saying that was one of the worst tours that you've ever been on?
I don't know where you heard that.
You know what it is? I'm just trying to start controversy. I'm going to tell you straight up. I've been doing radio for years, but now everybody into this clickbait stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was just trying to get some. You saw right through it.
I was like, what?
LMA, I was making it up. You know what I'm saying? But so it was good.
It was amazing.
It
was amazing. It was my first like stadium tour, and Bruno does stadiums every night, like back to back. I think every show on the finale leg was at least two shows in each city that were stadiums, 15,000 people plus. So I did 7 dates, and yeah, it was incredible. It taught me how to really like work a stadium audience, even if they don't know who I am. And I realized that I only did 7 shows, so I think I only realized that on the last show, which was the LA show, because LA crowds can be quite tricky. Yeah. Same with New York. But yeah, it was amazing, and his show is incredible.
Yeah, like, man, that dude performs his ass off
every night. Yeah, every single night.
Yeah.
What was that call like when you got it? Because we all know it was Cardi B supposed to be on the tour, and she pulled out, and we were bummed. What was your reaction when they asked you to do it?
I didn't believe that he asked me. I was like, wait, what? Are you sure this is the right person? But I was just super humbled, because I was like, I didn't even know he knew who I was. So for him to ask for me to come on tour was like amazing.
The debut album was amazing.
Thank you.
And I thought that I was like super excited for the Ready EP, but the album was very beautiful. How did you decide to bring Chris Brown, her, and John Legend on this project?
It actually happened quite quickly with John Legend and her. Her I met at the BET Awards.
I saw that picture of you guys together, and I was just like, oh my God.
Is that was that the award show that I saw where they had you perform on the side show? The
where
side
that guy
stage?
was like singing Buddha like super hardcore.
God, man. I remember just that whole crowd, how what that felt like.
It was insane. I didn't expect it at all. So I remember walking in, and the moment my band started playing, everyone stood up, and I was just like, what is going on? Like,
dude, you killed that.
Thank you.
And I'm talking about too, like, if you didn't see it, it was like the side stage. It's almost like a bumper kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And you killed it. And I know that other people had to be like, oh shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like we got, but no, vocally and everything. But go ahead, my love. Sorry about that.
Yes, I met her at the BET Awards. So from there, I think it was maybe a month later, she was opening up for Chris on the Heartbreak on the Full Moon tour, and she asked if I wanted to come out in New York. So I went out there, and she brung me out, which everyone went crazy. And I think it's just important as young black female R&B up and coming singers to support each other. And I think a lot of females in the industry don't do that. Yeah. And by us, by her bringing me out and us actually being friends, we control the narrative of people can't put us against each other.
Definitely.
You can try, but it's not gonna work.
And we do see people, that do try it. It's not enough room. No,
there's plenty.
And especially when it comes to our female artists, we seen it over the Nicki Minaj's and the Cardis of the world, and some people do kind of buy into it, but there's so much room for that, especially when it's just pure talent as well.
Yeah, and I think that's why. We get along so well, because I feel like there's no reason for anyone to be jealous. There's no reason for anyone to make it like a catty thing. We're both talented in our own right. We both make great music, and we both, even though we're both R&B singers, there's room for both of us, and there's room for everybody else as well. It doesn't have to be, there has to be one person at the top, and we just genuinely get along. So with Gut Feeling, I had the song already, and I was like, we have to get her on it. Once I actually met her and stuff, because I don't really like to reach out to people I haven't met, or because I kind of want it to be organic. So once I met her and hung out with her a little bit, I was like, I have this record that I really want you on. She was like, send it over. And she was in the middle of touring still, so she got a random studio in Indiana or something, and did the verse and sent it back really quickly. And I was like, wow, you're incredible. So I was super excited about that one. And then John Legend, he sent the record back in 2 days, which I didn't expect, because sometimes it can take really, really long for people.
Yeah, and sometimes you even hey, you still got that record?
Right, yeah. But he was super excited about the song, and it happens to be a fan favorite. So
it is.
So
it's my
good.
favorite. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. So yeah,
both of your vocals combined, I'm just like, oh my goodness.
It's like butter.
Thank you.
And he's just amazing anyway, though. Too.
Incredible.
Everything.
And not that last of a dying breed, but you just don't get that. That's why when I hear you sing as well, LMA, we don't get a lot of that.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And I love how you keep saying us as R&B singers, because sometimes that so-called genre, the breed, it doesn't get recognized as much as we would want to in radio, where outlets of video, whatever it may be. So when you did come through, that song killed everywhere.
Yeah.
And it put a lot of people, you know, not on the back of you, but it also like ushered in people that say, no, this is R&B.
Right.
Like there's a feeling that's connected with this.
But even like taking it back to what she was saying about her, you know, the meeting with Gabby, like I honestly, when I saw both of you guys together in that picture, I was just like,
I think
oh my
everyone-
You're like,
goodness,
I
like this is just magical. I can't wait for them to work with each other.
Did you know they
Because-
were going to work at that time? Or you just saw the picture? And
No,
was
I just saw the picture. I didn't know. I mean, I kind of figured that they would, and it just again, like I just got excited because both of them are leading queens in R&B. So
Thank
just
you.
like, look at this combination. Whatever God brought together, it's going to be amazing. So,
Thank you.
and it was.
Thank you.
And
what about Chris
Go ahead,
Brown?
love.
Oh yeah, Chris. How could I forget?
Well, you did. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
there you go.
didn't. No, he's like, honestly, to work with Chris Brown, I was like, I still pinch myself because my manager was in the room with me too, and he knows how much I love Chris Brown. Like I've been listening to him since he came out. I was like 11 years old, and a lot of what I do, like vocally and melodically, comes from him. Like I'm very inspired by him. So to sit in the studio and work with him and kind of just watch him like kill everything in one take, like it's just effortless. He doesn't even have to try, and it was like inspiring to watch because this is
So
someone
y'all
I've
were in
looked up
studio
to.
together because
Yeah.
sometimes you don't get a lot of that
Right.
when we hear about, you know, collaborations.
Like you send
Yeah.
over the track.
Yeah.
Did he
That's how
teach
it
you
was
anything?
with John and her. I didn't get to be in the studio, but with Chris, I got to be in the studio. Yeah, just to I remember I was a little bit sick when we recorded the song.
Mm-hmm.
So once we finished, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go re-record it and blah blah. He was like, don't touch it.
right.
like-
Go with
he
what
was like-
was natural
Yeah, 'cause
recorded.
he loved it, and he was like, if you go over it, you're gonna start overthinking it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it might not be the same. The feeling might not be the same. He's like, don't touch it, leave it alone.
Did you leave it alone, or did you tell him like,
no, I left
it's
it.
my album?
I left it.
Oh,
I
okay.
left it.
You should have
Tell
told
me
him like,
what to
fool,
do.
it's my album. You know what I'm saying? So, what you talk about, Chris? My album. Fool.
like, I'll
You know
dance
what I'm
battle you for
saying? Yeah,
it.
you know what I'm saying? What's the relationship with DJ Mustard?
Oh, that he's like my big brother.
Yeah,
honestly.
man.
It's amazing because I think I'm very lucky in my situation to have a team that's like family basically, and a lot of people don't get to have that. So I always wake up and I'm like, I'm so blessed. I thank God because Mustard is literally like my big brother, as well as being a mentor and being able to talk to someone who's already kind of made his way through the industry and knows exactly what goes on, which helps me because if I have questions, he knows the answer. But yeah, he's like, I can go to him for anything, even if it's not work related. If I'm having an issue, if like anything, I can call him and he's got my back. So.
What was the music business like? You know how we'll say like, oh, this is when we caught on. What was that road beforehand? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was. Well, I started doing Instagram covers.
Yeah.
Which was like 3 years ago now.
And that's how he found
That's
you, right?
how Mustard found me. Yeah, on Instagram.
Because I remember years ago I saw you and I was like, oh, she's not gonna make it. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing with you. Man. You know how many people looked at that and probably
No,
slept.
but
You know
do
what I'm saying?
what? Probably more than half of the people that saw my videos and stuff probably said the same thing. Like I mean, it's human nature. I feel like
To hate.
to
Yeah.
ish, yeah.
Yeah.
But it is. And also there's so many people that sing on social media.
Right.
So it's like, how do you really know who's gonna make it and who's not? So, but yeah, must have found one of my videos, the Tupac Keep Your Head Up video that I did, and he just DM'd me and was just like, "What's your situation?" And I had no situation.
Oh, really though? Okay, damn.
Yeah, I was working in retail and I went to school for music. This was when I still lived in London.
Okay.
And that was it. That was my situation. Had no management, nothing. So
Wow.
yeah.
Had that
Damn.
had other people tried to reach out to you to become your manager or your
Yeah, I had a lot of while I was doing my Instagram covers, I had a lot of inquiries, but Mustard was the only one that was like persistent and kind of
Yeah.
kept it up. Yeah.
When it seemed like you and Mustard was going to start and people were still kind of watching the social media and Instagram, did you have anybody that told you don't mess with Mustard?
Well, nobody knew. I was still when I first met Mustard, we were working on what then became my 3 EPs, Time Change and Ready. But at the time, we didn't have I wasn't signed to him or anything, so we were just making music, and it could have turned into anything. I could have ended up just like writing songs for someone
Right.
else. I never knew it was gonna turn into this. But for a good 6 months, I was still doing my Instagram covers while I was working with Mustard, and nobody knew. So we kind of kept it under wraps, and then I signed, and then we released.
Why did you trust in Mustard? Because now we look at it and it's like genius, but early on it's like, why trust?
I think I'd never met a producer that I'd clicked with as much as him, and somebody who gave me a lot of creative control while also giving their opinion, but not being overbearing. Like in all situations, he would never watch over me and be like, "You need to do this, you need to do
Right.
that." He kind of would guide me, but give me creative control and see what I could do also, which I really liked, because I think in a lot of situations you go into a studio and the producer or whoever's around you tries to kind of control exactly what you do, and then it kind of takes away from the art form for yourself. It's good for them because they get to do what they want to do, but and me and Mustard just had this like musical connection. It was really weird. I hadn't had it with anyone before, and I'm very big on like going with my gut.
Vibe and everything.
And yeah.
Did you feel like, okay, while I'm doing this so-called 6 months, you know what I'm saying? Did you always have original material as well, or was it more covers?
I had like a 4-track EP on SoundCloud that Mustard hadn't even heard when he first reached out to me. Yeah, he was just going solely off of my Instagram covers.
Wow.
Yeah, and I hadn't really had that much experience in the studio. Like everything was super new to me. So him throwing me in to this big studio that he uses, I'd never seen a studio like it, and like kind of just threw me in, put me in with some writers to like, because I'd never worked with writers before either. Like it was very, very new, and. Yeah, that he kind of was just preparing.
You know, that LMA, that's crazy, because it seemed like it's still so exciting to you.
It's
and it was so
exciting.
new. And when it was approached, it wasn't like a burnout already. Like, oh, you know, here's another person that say that they could do this. Now, when we do see the success of LMA, is there anyone that's come up to you now that you say, man, I tripped out that person knows my music?
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Wow.
Miss Berry. Halle
a legend.
Berry.
So awesome.
Halle Berry. Oh, Mary J. Blige FaceTimed me the other day.
Wow.
And
Damn.
I almost lost my mind.
How did that?
Did that just pop up?
No, so one of the writers that I work with very frequently works with her very frequently, and he texted me. He was like, "Oh, where are you? Can I FaceTime you real quick?" And I was going to Drake's concert, so I was I was literally about to walk into the forum, and I was like, "What's up?" And he was like, "Oh, Mary wants to talk to you." So I was like, "Oh, call me right now."
Yeah.
I'll stand outside.
I'll circle around the block. You know what I'm saying?
So he calls me, and she was there. They were in the studio together, and she was just saying, I'm her favorite singer right now.
Wow.
Which is insane, because she's a huge inspiration. And I said to her on the phone, because my mum loves Mary J. Blige. I was like, if my mum knew I was on the phone to you right now, she'd be so jealous. And I called my mum straight after. 'Cause my mom's still in England, so the time difference is quite different.
Like, should I, baby?
Yeah.
Everything okay? You hear that phone like 3 a.m. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah,
I told you not to go out there. That damn Drake.
Right.
Stay away from the Migos. But now,
No.
is Mary J. Blige kind of an influence for you as well?
A huge one.
And do you have others?
Yeah, Lauryn Hill,
Oh, yeah.
Alicia Keys.
Oh, yeah.
Stevie Wonder called
Yes.
me also.
Wow.
Damn.
Yes, everybody.
You're like,
It's
sing
like
happy birthday to me, even though it's my birthday.
I have to pinch myself. Like even telling you guys a story doesn't even feel real sometimes. It's like, wow, this is really reality.
Was there ever any time where you were like, this isn't going to happen? You know,
No backup plan.
I had no.
Because you was
backup
already
plan.
doing the backup plan.
Yeah,
Like, I was working.
I had no. Yeah, that like. But I knew I wouldn't be in retail all my life.
Right.
Like this is what I always wanted to do. I didn't know when it would happen or how it would happen, but I knew I would get there.
You probably got bad Yelp reviews out there because she didn't want to really be in retail.
for
Like, how
real.
much is this
I
shirt,
was
man? F that shirt.
I was a bad customer service.
Yeah.
When people, my first job was in Topshop in England. It's like the flagship store, and it's huge, and it's just like a lot of tourists come in and they don't know where anything is, but they change the floor almost every 2 weeks.
Oh.
So you can never know
So
where
you don't
everything
know
is.
where some of the stuff is at.
So someone can come in and be like, oh, I saw this skirt online, blah, blah, blah. And I would really be the person like, oh, yeah, go to the back.
Send them to the wrong place.
Yeah, I just couldn't be bothered.
Like,
Have you gone
that'd
back
be on-
over
that'd be on
there?
7.
You haven't gone
I
back.
haven't been
You
back
should do
since.
a show there.
Hey,
Be
dude,
like, F y'all.
but you know what? There's someone that's watching this like, that's that girl that sent me to the wrong section.
Probably.
Like there she go right there. Remember the girl I was telling you about? That's her right there.
I was looking all over that
on the
store.
award show.
Yeah.
You know, you got a book over there.
She's ready.
She was. I love this. No, but I'm gonna tell you, LMA. She been campaigning, and I'm talking about like early on, like
Thank you.
early on. You didn't even know you were signed yet before when she was campaigning.
Thank you.
Why did you decide to title your debut album LMA?
I think we were going back and forth with my EPs. They were one word titles, and we were going back and forth trying to figure it out. But I kind of always knew I wanted a self-titled debut album, just because I feel like debut albums are extremely important, and they introduce you, even if you have bodies of work from before. They kind of, that's like your introductory to the world. I just always knew that I wanted it, especially once we came up with the track list and we put the skits in, and I was like, this is really like just me as a person.
Yes.
I feel like the music describes me very well. So I was like, what better way to explain that than to have it self-titled.
Speaking of the skits, sorry,
go ahead.
but,
No, baby,
speaking
go
of the skits, you cover emotion, lust, love, assertive, mystery, aware, inner. Did you like already like purposely plan out this, because this all spells out your name?
My name, yeah. So the skits are like something that Mustard and I have been doing since my EPs, and we wanted to carry it on because I love storytelling. So we were trying to figure out a way to do it, and it was actually Mustard's idea to spell out my name. He was like, if you're gonna do it self-titled, then let's see if we can spell out your name. So I tried to. We had the track list, and I was like, where can I fit everything in? And then I came up with the words, and then my brother actually wrote the skits.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
Keep it all in the family.
awesome.
Yeah.
I
Is
heard
your
that.
brother
Did
a
he charge
musician?
you? No, go ahead.
He's not a musician. No, he's not a musician. He film writes.
Uh-oh.
That's the right way to say it.
So you're
It
all
sounds good to
creative
me.
up in your family.
Yeah.
What does your mom do?
She's a teacher.
Oh, go ahead now. Hell yeah, she is.
Beautiful.
Hey, now with your brother being a film writer, alrighty, does he charge you when he writes for?
No.
Oh, okay. So does he do the I'm LMA's brother?
No.
Is he doing that now?
No, he would never. He's not. He's like you probably unless you. We
he
look
in here?
alike. No, he's not.
Right.
In here. We look alike, so you would know he's
You
my
sure
brother.
this is
We would-
LMA right here, right?
Right.
Yeah. so I'm
Okay,
very
just
sure.
all right. I didn't know. I didn't know.
We
I
had
don't
to
know her
ask
I don't know her
because, I
brother.
mean-
I don't know her
Is
brother.
he older or younger than you?
He's older than me. He's 5 years older
Does
than me.
he
ahead.
do that very like big brother? I need to protect you. I don't want you to do anything.
You like fool? I'm on the road.
No, he does, but it's not overbearing.
Okay.
But
Right.
I think he's very confident that I'm like a sensible girl, and he's always like he's my biggest fan. Like I'll call my brother the moment I hear any news. I'll call my brother before I call my mom. Like
Right.
a lot of the time, yeah, because he's just like we have a really close relationship. So yeah, he's the best.
What did we not? You have to be vulnerable on your album, and you expose so much of who you are. But what do we don't see, like of who you are on the album?
A gangster.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Pretty much.
I don't know. I think we kind of nailed it. I feel like trying to explain yourself in 14 songs, you're never gonna get every single
Yeah.
thing because I feel like there's so many different characteristics to everyone.
And plus, there'll be more.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
there will be more. Yeah, but I think we hit like the main points on the head. But I don't know. I don't know. What did we miss? Did we miss anything?
Not that you missed anything, but
Right.
it's something you haven't shown us yet.
I don't know. I think I want to say I've showed everything so far. I'm only 23, so I feel like when my career grows, obviously I'm gonna grow as a person,
Yeah.
and more will probably come out.
You know what I was doing at 23?
What were you doing?
No, I said, do you know what I was doing?
No. What were you doing?
No,
This.
that was a question for you to tell me what I was doing.
I'm trying to. When was? I think I know.
I was in prison.
Were you really?
Yes.
Like, are you being serious?
No, I'm not. But I was doing things that could have got me in prison. But 23, and there's a life ahead of you, and you've done so
what were
much.
you doing at 23? I want to know now.
Going to church.
Yep. No,
Praising the
I
Lord.
wasn't going to church. I'm not gonna lie, because Jose is here.
Look, he's over there like,
That's my little Christian partner over there. No, you know what? Are you familiar with it? There's a group called the Far Side,
I'm not.
and I was the bodyguard for the Far Side. At one point, I was over 500 pounds.
I know that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, so you know a little bit.
Well, you know my
So
word.
you know a little of my history. Huh? Yeah. That was me. You know what I'm saying?
She knows your health history.
Yeah.
your health history.
Were you going to school to be like a nurse?
Wait, were you in Lottery Ticket?
Was I in Lottery Ticket?
What film was it that
Dude,
you were
I
in?
was in something.
Was Lottery Ticket with Bow Wow?
with Bow Wow.
That was Bow Wow, yeah.
What
I
was
don't know
it?
if I did Lottery Ticket. I did one called Deuce Bigelow where I played a
That was
lady.
the other
No,
fat
a
guy.
different one.
And then Soul Plane.
I don't know.
Soul Plane.
You know what? LMA, this is about you. I've done so
Soul
many.
Plane.
I've done
Soul
so many
Plane.
movies. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go ahead and go tit for tat with you. You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna say, oh, well, maybe I should interview you, Big, because you are
we
the
should do
bigger
that.
celebrity in here. We don't want to get caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to ask you about this here. Alrighty, this is I guess this would be a tweet from you. Mm-hmm. It says, this week alone, my album went gold. Trip went platinum. I received 4 Soul Train Award nominations, and Mary J. Blige FaceTimed me and told me I'm her favorite singer at the moment. Speechless. Blessings on blessings on blessings. Why do you brag so much? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. For real. Like,
so braggadocious.
who does this? And you see, I had to highlight this. Why not just
Sure,
be
like an
quiet?
essay.
And, you know what I'm saying?
She's
Like,
taking advantage of
and
those
then
characters.
she put this fake ass Forever Grateful on there. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. And you notice when I said, why do you brag? The whole room exploded. Even your people's over here, because they know it. They just don't tell you.
I don't brag. That's why everything is in one tweet, because I never put stuff out. I don't really tweet that much
I'm just gonna hit them with all of the receipts.
But it's not even about receipts. It's more so like expressing to my fans that like my album went gold.
I'm better than you and you're not.
No. My album went gold because of my fans.
Off your backs.
No.
Okay. So all right.
Wait, let me finish my sentence.
No, go ahead, love.
It's more so me expressing the fact that like my album went gold because of my fans. Trip went platinum because of my fans. Like I got 4 Soul Train nominations because my fans listen to me and take me in, and people are now recognizing that. And Mary J. Blige, like, it's just a legend.
I totally misunderstood this.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Apologize.
Just a little bit, but it's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, let me take off this little note that I left to myself that says bragging right here. You know what? I'm just going. I apologize, man. You know what? And when you came in, and when I just felt your spirit, I was like, she doesn't sound very braggadocious.
I'm not at all.
Right. Okay.
That was just more so that whole week has been incredible.
No, that's hell of a.
Yeah.
No, and you know I was just playing with you, right? Go ahead now. No, I wasn't.
We've talked about, you being young, and there's so much more that is going to come your way. What is on your career bucket list? Ooh. Let's put it out into the universe.
That's a good question, huh? What is on your career bucket list?
There's definitely a lot. I eventually want to open up my own music school.
Nice.
I went to music school.
Wow.
And I think it's important for like, especially people who like, music school is quite expensive. So for people who can't afford it and stuff like that, I definitely want to give back. And I also want to somehow incorporate like the Grammys to be not more so overseas, but the Grammys is based in America, obviously. Yeah. And you can get nominated as an international artist, but people in England don't normally what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I want some type of integration for Europe to be able to, like, I would love to be a part of that somehow, figuring that out. I don't know how, but that's definitely a conversation that I've had with the Grammy Association. Winning a Grammy. And I know a lot of people these days don't, like, think it's that important. But to me, I grew up, like, in the age where it's so prestigious and it's, like, the highest accolade that we can get. And not that the awards are the most important thing, but, being recognized by the committee.
You could be nominated this year.
Maybe. There's a lot of talk about it, which makes me super nervous.
Dude, I would love for you to get nominated.
Oh, thank you.
Just because, for one, you deserve it.
Thank you.
But then also knowing that you do understand what that means too. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you get in and you say, I'm doing it for. But when you do receive it, you're like, yeah, I'll accept that.
Yeah.
Because now I see people, they urinating on their platinum plaques and eating cake off of them. And I'm like, man, like those things should mean something to you.
Right, they should, yeah. And I had a conversation with Billboard. I was on the cover. This is not me bragging, okay?
No. Now I got all gun shots.
I was on the cover of Billboard with Post Malone and Dua Lipa for their Grammy edition, and they were asking us questions about, like how we feel about the Grammys and how do we feel about people like protesting and not showing up and stuff like that. And to me, it's more so like we all know that there needs to be a change in the way that everything goes. It's quite dated, but I feel like with you not showing up and you doing that type of protest is not changing anything, right? Which is why I respect Chance so much for showing up, and trying to be the change that needs to happen. So I think it's still important, regardless of how anyone feels that the committee is not. We're not represented well, but like we have to be the voices to change that. So.
Big Boy's Neighborhood LMA is in
How do you
the
guys
neighborhood.
do that?
Do you know what I'm saying?
Every time it's so on point.
Just a little school we go through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you went to music
It's
school.
just organic.
You know timing. You know what I'm saying? You know timing. You know what I'm saying?
Just hear it.
It's just all in timing. Yeah.
Try it the next time.
Okay, I'm gonna try next time.
All right. Remember you said that because people have tried and died. You know what I'm saying? And
No
then
pressure.
and I know that the album is done, but if you do go back LMA and re-strip LMA. Put that Big Boy in there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just like, hey, what's up, Big Boy, Big Boy? And, I think that
randomly.
right there would take you to the top.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Switch it
saying? That'll get you your Grammy nomination.
Is that you bragging?
Yes. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Instead of Buddha, it would be Big Boy, Big Boy.
Yeah. Oh,
like in your voice,
Big Boy.
Big Boy.
Big Boy. Do you ever listen to like Boot Up and say that's me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gotta be. Is that crazy to you though?
It's still sometimes I feel like I still don't really like get what it did. I think I'm still trying to understand how it did what it did, because I think for like, you know, a new R&B artist for Boot Up to do what it did or is doing is insane. Like it's almost unheard of, and sometimes I forget that like that's me, like I did that. But my mom reminds me all the time.
Oh, really though?
Yeah.
How proud is your mom of you right now?
If she could call me every second of the day to tell me how proud she is,
That's
she
beautiful.
would. She would, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the way that you talk about your mom, she was already proud anyway. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now this has got to be like times 10 for her.
She's like, along with my brother, as I said, my brother's my biggest fan. My mom, my grandma, and my brother, they're like my biggest support system. Like my mom, although she's a teacher and you would think that she would be like, you know, you need to stay in school, you need to get a degree and whatever. She's always been my number one supporter. She's always been like, go for your dream. When I told her I wanted to move to America to, you know, to keep pursuing, to work more with Mustard, she never questioned it at all. And I was young, I was 20.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people in that situation would be like, no, that's such a big move, you're not going, blah, blah, but she let me.
And then Google Mustard and be like, who's this YG? And who's this $5 sign? You know what I'm saying? I remember, and I got to go back to that BET Awards also, because that's the first time I saw you live. You know what I'm saying?
Nailed
And
it.
when the whole crowd
Man.
stood up and I was like, and I was there with my brother Mouse, right? And I remember where I was sitting at, YG was a row ahead of me, and they were sitting to the left. And as beautiful as that song is, right? YG, and you got, and do me a favor, and I know it sounds cheesy, but can you just sing a little bit of just the chorus for me? And watch, I'm going to show you YG. Go ahead.
Be-dee-da-doo, boot up, and my heart go bad, boot up.
I was like, go on, YG. I was like, dude, do I watch her?
Oh my God, I love it.
Do I watch LMA or do I watch YG?
YG.
He turned it into a straight blood anthem. He was just,
Big, but that's the beauty.
He was feeling it. It was a feeling. You know what I'm saying?
That's the beauty of the record, though, because it wasn't just like, you know, normally a lot of R&B songs only hit with the girls, or at least only the females are the ones that are always like expressing it. But with Boot Up, like you would see everybody, females and males, going like that one,
I'm
like that
getting
one
chills now from just
like-
being in there.
like that
day.
one meme where it says when you all blood and gangsta, but you boot up.
Yeah.
There was so many different memes.
Oh my goodness!
I
like,
saw
that's-
this meme of, I think it was a picture of Matthew McConaughey in a car, like smiling, but it was like, the caption was, when you finally dropped your girl off and now you can listen to Boot Up. Like there was so many different things, like people at cookouts, guys at cookouts, like all like they didn't care how they looked, they just loved the
and
song.
that's not a baby turn that off. Baby turn that off.
No, I was like,
You
turn
know what
that
I'm
up.
Turn it up.
Yeah, that's like, damn, we boot
Yeah,
up.
man. Yeah, you know, and it's anthem. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Thank you.
Did you know? Oh,
You go ahead.
No,
Did
you
you
go
guys
ahead, Queen.
know?
Go ahead,
When
Queen.
you made it, did you know that was going to be an anthem?
I don't think any of us knew. That's the beauty of it as well. I think that's why it was so special. I mean, it would have been special regardless, but like none of us knew. We all loved the record. What's the word? We believed in the record, sorry. But I don't think anyone could have expected that it did what it did. And when we released it, or when my manager told me, you know, like it's starting to get some real traction on social media and stuff, I had just released my single Naked. And I was like, my manager's like, we have to shoot a video for Boot Up, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, we're concentrating on Naked. I was almost my own worst enemy.
So
like,
you was looking over here and Boot Up just came.
yeah, literally, because it was out. We put it out in February 2017.
Yeah, and see, that's another thing with Boot Up. It felt like it always continued to just grow, grow, and it's crazy because I didn't even know that had been that long.
Yeah.
But everybody came to the table or to the party at a certain time.
Yeah,
and I think we all remember like when it was like, damn. Because I remember when my wife came around. You know what I'm saying? Because I was trying to put her on it. And then when she came around, it was like
the same with Matt. We were in the car, and being here, like I had already heard it, and he was like, shh, hold on, and he goes, what the hell is this? And he like just fell in love with it. And I was like, how have you not heard this song? Like, you know, but it was that same moment. Like you said, people found it at different times and just gravitated towards it.
Have you been invited to any weddings or birthday parties or anything like that? Everybody wants you to sing there?
I haven't, but I've seen a lot of videos of people dancing in their receptions to Boot Up and stuff, which is insane. It's
You
like
should
the
pop
best
in on
feeling.
one of them one day.
I want to.
You know
I
what I'm
want
saying?
to.
November 17th.
Are you
Don't
getting
get-
married?
This girl.
It's my second wedding.
Just tell her
You
you
can
busy.
come, girl.
Tell her you busy.
I don't actually know what I'm doing, but if I am here, I do want to
No, I
go.
just locked eyes with a guy over here. He said they're gonna be in Turkey. Yeah, damn. If you wasn't in Turkey though, if you
But you're gonna be there too.
I'm
Like,
gonna
you
be
would've
there, but I'm
wanted her
not gonna be
there.
in Turkey.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't in Turkey, then,
Yeah, mate.
yeah. If you, man, yeah, I was just her at Turkey. Yeah, she just got married.
Congratulations.
She got married on
Earlier this month.
earlier this month.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And that was more of the family and friend. You know, that's the one we weren't invited.
No,
to.
it was
It
family.
was her real wedding.
The real wedding.
Real
so she
wedding.
had her real wedding,
Yes.
and then November 17th
Is the most
is the
exciting
one
one.
for the blacks, Mexicans,
No,
and
it's
others.
not.
Got it.
Stop.
People of color.
Yeah, that's what we'll be able to come. We'll be able to come through the front door.
Hey.
Yeah, alrighty. So you don't want to go to that, you know. And the only reason why she inviting you is because you're LMA. You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying?
People in this building didn't get invited.
Yeah, right, but the reason why you're inviting her and you just met her is why?
Well,
Because it's LMA.
Well, she seemed
And
like
when
she
you
wanted
get there,
to be invited to one.
And then when you get there, it's going to be like a sound system set up. And
You know
they-
what? She might take away too much attention from me since it's my day.
Yeah, she definitely
I think
will.
I might.
I'm gonna be in Turkey anyway. So
Yeah, that's right.
there it is.
There it is.
Don't worry about
What you wearing
it.
your pretty little face about? Alrighty, big boys,
Big
neighborhood.
boy.
Alrighty now, hello. Damn, she got that kind of on the first try.
I was like 1, 2, 3.
That's that music school.
Almost.
Go ahead now.
You talked about Chris Brown also being one of your inspirations, but who else is another inspiration? Because honestly, when I hear you, it takes me back to like listening to Lauryn Hill, and like the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is like one of my favorite albums.
That's
so when
my
I was
favorite
listening to
album
like
too.
your skits and your topics, it reminded me a lot of her.
Thank you. That's a crazy compliment. But she's like my main inspiration. I love how raw and authentic she is. Like I don't think it gets any better than Lauryn Hill, to be honest. But I have loads, like a lot of 90s R&B, Brandy, Monica.
Yes.
I love Alicia Keys. Like I wanted to be Alicia Keys so badly when I was little. I used to braid my hair. I learned how to play piano because of Alicia Keys. Like everything. Yeah, I love Alicia Keys. Who else is there? Jasmine Sullivan. I think she's so underrated, and
Yes.
I think she deserves way more attention than she gets. I think she's one of the best vocalists we have. It's a lot of females actually. And now that I'm naming the list, try and think of guys. Of course, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Usher, just a whole bunch of R&B stuff really.
Yeah, I remember the times that I kicked it with Michael. Just a hell of a guy. Michael Jackson, I'm speaking of. Magnetic is one
can
word.
imagine.
Yeah,
I can
just
imagine.
hanging out with that, hanging out with him. Hey, Mike, you know what I'm saying?
What would you
Sorry,
guys
I'm
talk
having
about?
Just everything under the sun. Please,
would he
did
tell
you
us?
see the picture over here, LMA? Please look at the picture.
Oh my God.
That's
a real picture.
Yeah, that's
She's laughing
just
like
one
it's
of
not a
our,
real
just one of
picture,
our.
babe.
No, it's because of the way it's on the background.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
makes it
yeah.
look
She
like
thinks
his
it's
face.
Photoshop.
I have to
big.
do my show to Michael Jackson every day. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I
I wish I could have met him.
But I mean, and you didn't. But
Big.
That's you bragging.
being braggadocious.
That's you bragging. That's him bragging.
no,
Yes,
no.
it is him
To say
bragging.
you didn't, bragging is, but you didn't. I did.
Oh.
That's bragging. I left it. You know what I'm saying? You said, I wish I would have been. I said, but you didn't. You know what I'm
Yeah.
I
saying?
didn't. I didn't.
And-
It's okay.
No, it's not.
It
No,
is.
no, it's not.
It's fine.
LMA, stop it. Alrighty? You didn't meet Michael Jackson. Just live with it.
I'm fine.
No, you're not. No, I mean,
am.
you're fine. You know what I'm saying? But you're not fine about not meeting Michael Jackson.
I mean, I wish I could have, but I didn't,
But you did,
and that's
yeah.
okay.
It's not okay.
It's okay.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not. Because you're always going to have this little empty feeling of not meeting Michael Jackson.
I mean, there's a lot of us, I think, that have that empty feeling.
Yeah.
So
Well, that doesn't
I'll
mean
join
that
the club.
just because there's more people doesn't make it mean. I mean, you're paying your solo is your solo. It doesn't matter if it's a million people. That not meeting Michael Jackson, that's here for you. You know what I'm saying? That's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. It was amazing. Just the times I was with him, it was. I wish everybody could have had that feeling. You know what I'm saying? But everybody, you met Michael? No. Oh, okay, just checking. What about you, Michael?
No.
Michael?
No.
Daniel? Michael? Amir? Michael? Jose? Michael?
Yes, that was a yes.
Was that a yes?
I'm not going to acknowledge that. All right, because I wanted to
wasn't
be the
weird.
only one in the room.
It wasn't even
and it
really the
almost sounded
real.
like a fake lie.
Yeah, it was like this,
like Amir, Michael.
Okay, like this.
Well, you didn't say Jackson. You know what I'm saying? LMA, Thank you for coming into the
Thank
neighborhood.
you so much.
Thank you guys
I know
for
you,
having
like,
me. I had
really-
a lot of fun.
I know you
Thank
like. I need to
you.
get out of here.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I'm
like somebody
saying?
help me.
And I heard her tell her people, "Can somebody text me, make it seem like we gotta go?"
No, I didn't. I didn't even have my
Wrap
phone
up.
on me.
Really
I
though?
don't have my phone on me. No.
Why not?
My day-to-day manager has it.
Day-to-day
Damn, look
manager.
at her.
No. Oh my god.
She's bragging again, big.
He will take anything out of context.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Just the clickbait.
You been talking to my wife, huh? my wife say the same thing. No, but thank you for coming into the neighborhood.
No, thank you
so
for having
much.
me.
And God willing, we'll see you again.
Yes.
And we've had
Soon.
people that come into the neighborhood and continue to come in. You know
I
what I'm
will.
saying?
I will.
Don't start doing phoners.
I won't.
I'll be
All right.
sad if you do that.
I'll come
Yeah.
in. I'll
Don't
come in and
forget
see
about
you.
us.
All right, look
I
right,
won't.
look right in that camera and say I'll be back.
I'll be back.
All righty. Thank you for coming into the
Thank
neighborhood.
you. Thank
It
you
is a
guys so
pleasure.
much.
And God willing, we'll definitely see you again. And it was a
Yes.
pleasure hanging out with you and having you in
Thank
here.
you for
Like
having
I had
me.
a lot of fun with
Me
you.
too.
Ella Man in the neighborhood, y'all. Big Boy's
Big
neighborhood.
boy.